you referenced your time in that growth, 2006 to 2013. Who were you working for again?
Security networks.
Security networks, right? And you
Yeah.
said from 5 million to 100 million in 7 years.
Yeah, it was insane. It was absolutely insane and fun and hard,
Sure, sure. But I
in all
think it
ways.
reflects some of the growth that we see some of the fire protection contractors going through right now as well. Very aggressive growth models, fueled by investors coming in the space, right? And there's a right way to do it, right? There's key pillars that you and I always talk about with regard to, from the back office, the tech stack, the financial structure, the financial reporting, the rhythm of the business, especially when you're growing that quickly. And then from a strategic perspective, how are we going to grow it? From an operations perspective, what pieces are we going to put in place and how we drive this, the role of people, process, and ultimately, again, the tech stack. So it aligns very nicely. So
Yeah, and I think because I've worked in small companies that have grown, I've got different experiences that I share, and there is no one size fits all. But the theme is, ultimately every owner, and this happens all the time, needs to find a way to work on their business and not just in the business. And ultimately, they get to a much better outcome in the end. The likelihood and probability of a successful outcome is much higher when they find time, make time, manufacture time if they have to, and we can talk about that, to work on the business. I have many examples, and even yesterday, I was talking to someone who I've been courting for the better part of 8 months after being referred by someone who I helped sell and had a great experience. And consistent conversation is, I do want to sell soon. I like what you're saying. I don't have time to devote. And I say, I understand. And you'll never get to that successful outcome if you don't devote the time. So how about an hour a week? Can you spare an hour a week? And now he's making that decision. I'd send him a consulting agreement and hopefully we'll get started, right? So the message is to me, starts with find the time, make the time, manufacture the time, and we could talk about some of the things that, that an owner can do. Again, we're talking about, the owner that's got a 3 million revenue business to 20 million revenue. Maybe it's them and a partner, and that evolution, at some point might allow them, and hopefully allows them to invest in some resources so they can actually spend time working on the business and preparing themselves not only for a sale, but to grow, right? And to work on those things that create the best journey along the way, because you should have fun, you own a business for 20 or 30 years, hopefully it's not all a grind. And some of that has to be very intentional, and we can talk about some of that as well. So.